Hey everybody, what is up? This is Devin, LaVore, and
Michelle LaVore
coming at you during the day. Hallelujah, high five, boom, there. Give you a little different intro. It's really not different because it's Devin doing Devin things, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so welcome everybody. Hope you guys have been blessed by the recent barrage of videos. Those last 3 videos, even though it's taken you guys 3 days to watch them, we did them all in one day.
Yeah. Which
is kind of the theme of this here video, our Restoration Play week. What are we, scene 16?
Yep. Yeah. Act 2, scene 16.
3 in 1. Mm-hmm. Trust me, there's different levels and dimensions of this revelation here.
Yes.
And it's really, really cool. And we think that you guys are going to be super excited and encouraged by it. You know, and yeah, so welcome. That's Devin's intro. It's very long. So we also want to thank those of you who support us. And we do. We just pray blessing on you guys who support us and understand what we're doing and just are blessed by our channel and all the encouraging words. And just when we hear stuff like, man, you guys, your channel has blessed us so much you don't even know. It's just like, we just say, glory to God.
Yeah.
We've done nothing. God, just, if they're being blessed, God, just go get them. Just go get them. You know what I mean? Go get them with some love and revelation and insight and just freedom and, you know, just go get them. You do it. You know what I mean? And so we just give a huge thank you to those who also support us financially by giving to us. And if you would like to give to us, we have a PayPal link below and you can click it and tick it. So so we just really do appreciate you guys, and just we are super excited to share this scene 16, because man, there is a lot that has taken place, as you can see through all the videos we've done. Like we say, you know, we go a week without doing a video. We could do a video every day. See, told you. We could literally do. We did 3 in one day. You know, so, but it was a prophetic move. So
yeah. Well, so I'm going to just basically go into what was happening throughout our week. Kind of, we left off with Act 2, Scene 15, where we were talking about just that giving birth to a wedding, that idea of giving birth, but also the idea of having this wedding. And really for us, I feel like this week has been broken up into 3 parts. Which is just kind of funny because
3 parts in 1 week.
Exactly.
Okay,
and
cool.
So that's why this is a 3 in 1. And so there's been kind of 3 parts to this week, but even within that, there's just been
lots of 3 in 1s.
Lots of 3 in 1s. Wow. And just kind of the Lord bringing that up. And when we first, actually right before we came to this place that we're in now that we call the delivery room, the Lord was showing us, he was like, hey, you're not giving birth to just one promise. You're really birthing triplets, because there are 3 specific things that the Lord is just like, I want you to believe for these, and I'm going to birth these things in your life. And the home is one of those things. But it just like the Lord's like, hey, I want you to know you're having triplets. This isn't just one thing, and maybe down the road you'll get some of the other things that I'm promising you and giving to you. And so the Lord's been speaking about that with us as far as in regards to the promises. But also throughout this whole journey, the Lord has highlighted the idea of him bringing Jubilee freedom to the body, soul, and spirit. 3 in 1, so that we have a complete...
You'll be hearing that a lot.
Yeah, just a wholeness with the Lord. And so there is Jubilee for the body, which is like all the physical things that you need, but also your actual physical body. The Lord restoring, healing if you have anything that you need healing for.
Physical afflictions.
Yeah. It's like the Lord's like, yes, I want to bring restoration to those areas. Your outside life. It's like, just physically the things that you need here on earth. And it's like, maybe it's your job or wealth or whatever it is. the Lord's like, I'm going to take care of those needs. But then you also have your soul. And of course, your soul, it's that constant fight, the battle between the flesh and the spirit. And just like, man, your soul can really weigh you down a lot of times. And so the Lord's like, I want to bring jubilee to your soul. And then of course the spirit, which is our life with the Lord, and God's like, I want to bring even more freedom and just basically allow you to soar in my spirit, where you're unhindered and you're able to just really hear my heart. And so it's like all three of those things the Lord has talked to and shared with us about, just him bringing jubilee to all three of those areas. And so it's like 3 in 1, which will give you just a complete picture of health and wholeness in the Lord. And so I feel like this week in some ways was kind of really like broken up into even the sense of body, soul, and spirit with what the Lord was doing. So for us in this last week, the Sunday and Monday, God was really kind of focused just on us continuing to just pray for our home, and really bringing our whole family in on Monday morning. We just had this huge prayer time with our entire family. Like everybody was just...
Was that when that was?
Yeah, we were praying through. We had we made this whole kind of little poster thing.
Double was the umbrella under which every other prayer was just like, points. I just want double on everything. That's what the Lord was like. Just double everything, please.
Yeah, and so we were just praying over, continuing to ask, praying for the hidden things, just health, healing, and resurrection, and just that the glory of God would be displayed. And so there was just so much that, everyone in our family was just a part of it.
Well, because we had just gotten finished with 7 days of 7 nights of just praying. Every night we would end up praying, and then followed it up with like, okay, that next morning, what was it, on the 8th? The morning of the 8th day,
It would have been actually the next day.
Either way, the bottom line is, it's like we had that 7 days, and then because that night we thought like, oh, maybe there's going to be a prayer time, but there wasn't, and so it was in that next morning, right? And then, but we drew the kids into it, so it's just like, you guys have been doing it. Now let's draw the kids into how this works.
Yeah, and I really did. I felt like it was the Lord saying, okay, I know we had been staying up late into the midnight hour praying and going before the Lord. And but I felt like on Monday morning the Lord was just like, all right, I'm inviting all of them to just come in and experience the kind of praying that you guys had experienced throughout this whole week, while they were sleeping, kind of thing. And so they were praying, and we were really just really focused on the house and praying for the house. And so that was really both Sunday and Monday. The Lord was still very focused on that.
There were rockets of prayer just getting assaulted on that. That house was lit up with fireworks of prayer.
Yeah.
Over it for like over a week.
Yeah.
I mean, just like, this is ours, don't touch it.
Yeah, and so then it was just kind of this sense we went into Tuesday, and the Lord was still kind of sharing about the house, but it was moving into something different. Yeah. It was starting to shift. And so then as we went into Tuesday, things really just started shifting and moving. And you could tell the Lord was kind of starting to talk about some other things, but then on top of it, we really started feeling the attack of the enemy. And it just started coming in, and it was interesting too. I love how the Lord works. We were talking in that morning about, I don't even know why, but our kids were talking about like rockets blasting off into space. And so we were just we actually even watched like a little video clip of just like a rocket,
the space shuttle,
just like going up, and the power that it needs to be launched, and how fast it goes when it's launched. And but then really we were talking about just being in space, and the idea of just like the Lord wanting to launch us out, you know, like kind of like out of this world, out of the world that you're in, out of the wilderness time, and into something completely new and completely different. And we were talking about how like space would be completely different and things like that. But then our 8-year-old, he was just like, you know, like the spacesuits, they're really cool because it's kind of like, you know, the spacesuits are going to protect you out in space because there's like no oxygen out there, and it's like, you know, and how like the enemy can just suck all the oxygen out, and then you need a spacesuit to protect you. And he started talking about this stuff, and I was like, oh, that's really cool.
He was rocking a lot of stuff this week.
Little did we really realize, like, it was like the Lord was just speaking through him of just like, get prepared, like, because there was the attack just really started shortly after that. And how did it come?
The enemy was trying to suck the life out of everything.
Yep,
I
literally.
tell you what, man.
It was like, and
promises,
you needed
relationships, whatever.
Yeah, it was like, and you needed that helmet. You needed to stay and remain in the Lord. Otherwise, you're gonna.
Can I camp out for a second, please?
Yes.
You needed to stay and remain. That was the big deal, because it reminded me of when the Lord showed me this vision of me, this big telephone pole, and it went literally into space, and I was standing on it, and I'm like, how am I breathing in space? Whatever, you know. But I'm standing. He's like, this is where you need to be. And this was back during the political stuff that was going on, and he was like, just stay here. Stay here. Don't you see all that crazy stuff going on down on the earth? If I tell you to go down there, that's different. But if I'm telling you to stay up here, stay up here. You know, and that's really what the enemy was trying to do during that whole, it was really 2 days. It was, I mean, it was almost as if the enemy got into his Santa bag, his little Satan bag, and he pulled out everything. If there has ever been anything that the LaVores have ever been tempted by or messed with, I mean, it was just being thrown at us. It's like, oh, you want to throw up all your grenades and rockets and fireworks of prayer? Well, I'm going to be throwing in bombs and grenades and discouragement and hopelessness. And it was just like, oh my gosh. I mean, from every direction imaginable. It was crazy. And you got to discern these things by the Spirit. You know, some people, they want to draw in to human reasoning and whatnot and try to figure things out that way. And I've been involved in that kind of stuff a lot. And the enemy always wants you to go there. He always wants you to go back to there. But it was just like, it was crazy.
Yeah. And so basically it started
to get us off of where we're at, basically. It's like, no, don't stay here. Go here. Go there. Don't believe this. Believe that. You know, you don't even need to be in Nashville. Here, come move over here. And it's like, no.
Or just even,
it's like, oh my gosh. It's like everything trying to pull us away. Like everything's trying to pull us away.
Yeah,
you know?
or just that feeling of hopelessness, like things are never going to change, and like you're going to be stuck here forever, and look at this. And
hadn't dealt with that in for a while.
And for me, of course, the enemy just threw in there the time frame, and for those who have been with us on this journey, the time frame is like my Achilles heel a lot of times. And so once again, there was just
you only have about 3 million people saying amen right now.
There's like the time frame thing came up, and it just took me out, and I was like, wow, I did not expect that. And so really Tuesday and Wednesday were both just these days of such intense battle, and just like the enemy coming and attacking, but the Lord was speaking, and
always, right?
He always is. And it's just, it can be so difficult, you know, in those times when you feel the attack of the enemy. You're feeling just inside, your soul, this is where the part of the soul comes in, of just like, it's just going crazy. You're thinking things and you're just feeling things, and it's like, what is going on?
And it's hard to resist. It's hard to recognize that it's even the enemy.
Yeah.
You get through half your day and you go, oh man.
Yeah, exactly.
It's been the enemy the whole time.
Yeah.
It's like, I would have totally handled that differently if I thought that maybe, maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah. But it was really amazing, because I love how the Lord moves and works, because he brought us through Tuesday and then Wednesday, and then Wednesday night I actually ended up listening to Kent Christmas, and he had his Wednesday night message, and so I just listened to it on YouTube, and it was just like, oh my gosh, for me personally, the Lord just he had already been working during the day and brought some breakthrough, but I felt like that night he really just brought just this deeper breakthrough for me in just battling, because he was talking about just the time frame and how that can get discouraging and hope deferred, and just like giving just this different perspective, and then
Kent Christmas is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy, he seems like the kind of guy to me that's just like, he's been through it all. He just
been
really
through a lot,
has.
yeah.
Whether it be mountaintop high, death in the family low, doesn't matter. It's like he's been there and done that.
Yeah.
And he's just still like, he's weathered, but it's just like, that's only made him better and stronger. And
yeah.
He's like, I'm not quitting. This is, I'm going to hear from the Lord, and I'm going to declare the Lord. And there's just a dense level of maturity there that you just can't fake and pretend.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
So the Lord just really used that time for me to just, I don't know, it really hit my heart, and it just had this rising up in me of just like, Lord, because he was talking about like a maturing, and I was just like, Lord, I really want to have that maturity of like, when the enemy attacks, had just really not default into the ways that I've been defaulting, and just like, I want to mature in you. I want to just like rise up and be one of the few. And I feel like for me personally, that the Lord was like, he was using this attack to really just kind of bring some things out, because the Lord can do that. And it's just like, hey, let's bring this out so you can see it, and so we can move beyond that. Let's bring all of these things out. Let that exposure happen. And so that was basically on Tuesday and Wednesday. Yeah. And then we came into Thursday, and man, that actually was the day that we ended up making 3 different videos in the one day. And it truly was just the Lord moving.
Was that the morning I woke up with a sense of like victory and accomplishment?
No.
Or that was the next day? Okay,
yeah.
cool.
And so Thursday, we were going through, and it was just like the Lord was just speaking and sharing, but that was the day it was just like praying the scriptures and declaring his word, and really like a coming back. It's like, all right, just you're coming to attack us. Well, we're coming forward. The Lord has, kind of fixed up some of those.
You pushed us around. You knocked some of us down. I mean, because some of my son, my oldest, he was really going through it those 2 days too. And it's funny because you and him have the same kind of almost like soulish makeup. You know what I mean? It's like you're kind of both like Ford Mustangs of some sort. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, it was hard. It was like, oh my gosh, And even though me, personally, I'm like the quarterback, I'm still standing, but in my heart, I'm broken because some of my teammates are just down, and I can't help them. So that kind of makes me vulnerable.
Yeah.
That's why I ended up doing that video by myself. And I was just like, no, I got to stand. I gotta pass the ball for the family. I got to pass the ball for the Lord. I know that I know if I know my son and I know my wife, they will bounce back. It's just going to happen. You know what I'm saying? I just knew that was going to happen. So coming into Thursday, it was just like, I had 2 swords in my hand.
Yeah.
Not just one. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and so like that morning we just
Hey,
had
God's
this
speaking
like,
double.
we had just this worship time, and actually that was really awesome about Wednesday night, because then after I had watched the Kent Christmas thing and the Lord was just speaking to my heart, I actually went and got my son, our oldest, out of bed, and we just talked and we shared and we prayed together, and it was just a really awesome moment, because I was, like Devin just said, like we have very similar ways to respond to things, and also just we're both like very emotional kind of people, and so the way that we're affected when
get punched
the enemy
in the stomach kind of easy, you know?
Yeah, and so it was just like, all right,
knocking the air out of you.
Exactly. And so it was just like, all right, let's come together, let's pray. And so then that next morning, it really was just time of prayer and worship and our God time, and then that afternoon it was prayer on like with what the Lord had to say through the video that we did that day, and then we came into the night and the Lord was just sharing more, and actually that's where the other 2 videos came from. It was just like, that was what we ended up having in our God time, and then it was just
Isaiah
like
45:8,
and then the new memories,
and the new memories and healing, and
it was just like, wow, Lord, this is amazing. And it really just, that day, it really was like a fight for victory, and just like we're going forward with the Lord. And so
that's when we did the 3-in-1.
Yeah.
We did 3 videos in one day. I don't think we've ever done that.
Yeah.
Ever. I think there's been times where we've done 2 videos in one day, but never 3 in 1. I don't remember. And if we did, don't remind me. It will ruin my point.
But then we came into Friday and Saturday, and again things were kind of shifting, and so basically Friday you kind of woke up with just that sense of after.
Yeah. Like after a race, or
after
the
race,
big game you
or
won.
Or kind of, I was thinking about like after you give birth, you've gone through this travail and turmoil.
I don't know what that's like.
Kind of like thing. And then it's like you can just kind of rest. It's the time to just rest, recuperate. And so I feel like really Friday and even yesterday and definitely have just been kind of these restful days where it's almost like kind of just take that time to recover. And
but it's not even so much because you can have that rest and recover post surgery.
Yeah.
But it's like when it's after a victory or after a great accomplishment or something, you just feel light.
Yeah.
You feel like, I'm a fluffy cloud. We have kids, Lightning McQueen. Anyway, you know what I mean? That's what it felt like.
Yeah,
it was airy
it's more
and
of
fun, and just kind of like, all right, get yourselves ready for the next thing. But you guys did great. I'll come get you here in a little bit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
It was like, all right, cool.
Exactly, and so
relationships were better.
I guess it's more like victory and rest. Victory and rest. It's like, like you're saying, like after a game, with. Whatever
you won the championship.
Game, you won the championship.
Like,
It was a hard-fought championship,
yes.
and all of that. But now it's just kind of you had the victory, just kind of rest and kind of a celebration type of thing. But really, I think it's been more of the restful focus. And but one of the scriptures actually that came up on, I believe it was Friday, was actually Luke 13, verse 32. And it says, and he said to them, go and tell that fox, sly and crafty, sullen and cowardly. Is that how you say it?
That's hilarious. Jesus, that's not very Christ-like of you. You need to speak a little nicer about your governing authorities. Because he's literally talking about the governor. Right? Or something like, or was it the Pharisees or the governor?
No, Herod.
Yeah. It was about the governor. Anyway, but it was someone in governmental authority.
Yeah.
And that's what he said. Just like, wow. And the church so often is trying to make you not that. It's like, I mean, if you said something like that to, about any kind of person in authority, church leadership will tell you, no, don't say that, don't rebuke an elder, blah, 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 blah. Look what Jesus just said. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But anyway,
so
no, it says skulking.
Oh.
Skulking and cowardly. Man, he's saying he's just a politician that's trying to do what he wants to do, how he wants to do it, and if he gets called out on it and he gets exposed, he's going to be running and peeing on himself. That's basically what Jesus is saying.
Yeah. But it talks about, behold, I drive out demons and perform healings today and tomorrow, and on the third day I finish my course. And so there was just that
kind of a 1, 2, 3 there.
Yeah. And I was like, wow, like there's just this sense of like the Lord like really working things out. He's like, I'm driving back the darkness, and I'm bringing healing to hearts and my people, and then I'm gonna finish my course. Like it's like I'm doing this. And I felt like that's kind of what we went through Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. You know, Tuesday and Wednesday were the Lord just driving back like any darkness, anything that's coming against your hearts, I want to expose so I can bring healing to those areas. So he can
perform the healings.
And it's like, let's get that out. And then it's like that Thursday, I felt like it was almost like let's finish this course. Let's finish like what the Lord is speaking, what he's saying.
Thursday is the third day.
Yeah, and so it was kind of like a third day in the sense of just like the Lord coming out just full force of like declaring and decreeing just what he's doing in our lives. And so then it's like, well, when you finish a course, then it's like you've had the victory and you can rest. And so that's kind of just been this week really. And so I feel like it kind of ties into body, soul, and spirit, because I feel like the first couple of days, the Sunday, Monday, it was like the Lord was kind of having us pray into the physical needs.
Physical, earthly things. Yeah.
But then
that's the body, right?
Tuesday and Wednesday and even into Thursday, it was kind of that dealing with the soul and overcoming those...
The mind, will, and emotions.
The things that can trip us up and all of that. And then
even Jesus, before he went to the garden, he was just like, my soul is grieved and depressed and just to the point I feel like I'm gonna die. Come on, let's go pray.
Exactly,
because this is just my soul. Because Jesus, like, he identified, this is just my soul. My spirit is fine. Let's just let my spirit lead. We're gonna go pray. Because I can't. This if I don't pray, the soul might take me over. I'm so weighed down.
And I feel like that's exactly what the Lord was doing during that time of just like dealing with the things of the soul, and then coming out, and it's like, I'm leading you to pray, so let's go by the Spirit. Let's rise up. And so really
the Lord has done.
Just God kind of just showing us like this is what it takes to live in the Spirit. This is what it takes, like, and just expanding and furthering just and opening us up to just even more in the Spirit. And then these last 2 days of just kind of that victory and rest. Again, just resting in the Spirit, knowing like he's taking care of everything. That is life in the Spirit, isn't it? And
you can sleep in the boat during a storm.
Yeah.
You know you in the Spirit then.
Yeah. and so really, especially Friday and Saturday, I think just that being in the Spirit, it's kind of interesting because yesterday the Lord led us, we were watching a whole video about a heavenly encounter someone had. And it was just like, amazing. Again, that's speaking to the Spirit of God. And so I feel like this whole week we really kind of went through where the Lord is like body, soul, and spirit. And in order to have true victory over the soul and the things of the soul, you need to live by the Spirit. And I want to give you freedom in all of those areas.
Yeah. I was just going to say, like, we forgot to bring this point up, or maybe you were going to, but I'll go ahead and steal it. Okay. But, you know, we have kids, so our kids just can't sit around and just endure, right? So some of the support we have, it goes to, like, getting them things, you know? And so we went and, you know, our kids love Legos, and so we ended up getting them a couple Legos. We didn't realize that the Legos were 3-in-1s.
Yeah.
Those are the best Legos, because you really get 3 Legos in one. And it was just funny, because that's what we ended up doing. Was like, I was like, oh my gosh, even our Legos that we just got, because we haven't done Legos in a while.
Yeah, a long
in
time.
a while. But the ones we got were 3-in-1 Legos. I was like, wow, even our Legos. You know, the steps of a righteous man are ordered by the Lord. Like, even the things that you think are insignificant things that you're doing is really the Lord getting involved and directing. It's like the Legos we got were 3-in-1 Legos. I was like, wow. Just a little sign and wonder, a little fingerprint of God on your life, you know, that seems insignificant, but it's just like, this is what I'm doing.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, no, that was something we were going to mention, because it was actually through that we were looking at that going, wow, 3-in-1, and the Lord was reminding us of the triple birth and all of these things, and it was just
3-in-1
like,
day, you know?
It was like, wow, Lord, you really have this kind of whole theme for us this entire week. And just as I was looking at it, you know, yesterday and today, I was like, wow, we really have had this 3-in-1. In 1 week, the Lord has brought us through those three different areas that God's like, I want Jubilee in each of these areas. I want Jubilee just for you, like, physically. I want Jubilee for your soul. I want Jubilee for your spirit. I want you, all of those coming together, and just really being able to walk in just a great wholeness. And
well, we felt like, well, that's what the Lord was going to do with the promises that He's given us, that we're holding on to, that we know are going to be fulfilled. So we're just waiting with patience and composure. But it's like one miracle is going to give birth to those 3 things, you know. And so that was touched on as well. You know? Which you already touched on earlier in the video, but I just wanted to mention it myself.
So funny. So that really just kind of, I think, covers this scene 16 that the Lord has taken us through, of just like how His
you guys
heart,
have had the details through the other 3 videos. So
yeah, of just like more insight into what the Lord was sharing throughout this week. But it really has been just a time of seeing the Lord move through those 3 different areas in the 1 week, but also just, it's like a prophetic sign of saying like, hey, I am gonna bring forth this miraculous provision that's gonna birth forth the triplets, the 3 births of things that I've promised you and have placed upon your heart. And so it's just like, all right, Lord, 3-in-1, just Him continuing to speak that. And so
did we talk about the break room? No. Yeah, well, I had that dream, but it talks about that. I mean, it's still the same thing, but because I had this dream where I was in this break room and the Lord steps in. And when the Lord steps in, it's just like there's these 3 presents in this one room that just get like I'm going to do this all in one day at one time. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And there's like, whoa. And so,
yeah.
And I only bring that up to say that was also brought up.
Yeah, it
this
was.
Time. It's just like, hey, remember this? You know? It's like, oh, yeah, we've been waiting that forever.
In one room.
Yeah.
Or womb.
That's right.
Devin made the joke. He was like, hey, it's the break womb.
The break womb. That womb need to break. 3-in-1. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's kind of what that's really just the heart of what God was sharing with us this week. And so
been kind of a heart of preparation. I was just, because I've been seeing the 10:17 like crazy, and I was just like, oh wow, more preparation. Okay, fine, we'll take it, you know. And then as the Lord begins to prepare, you go, oh man, yeah, we needed that. Thank you. I am not the Lord. You are. You know better than me. You're good. I'll just trust you. How about that? Maybe that's why you're speaking to us about trust a little while ago. Because Psalm 10:17 talks about the Lord has heard the cry of the humble and afflicted and the oppressed. And he will strengthen, prepare, and direct their heart. You know, and I really feel like everything's been like, hey, remember this, remember that, remember this, remember. And then the whole heavenly encounter stuff. You know, because one of the words God gave us was all these heavenly divine encounters that were going to happen that are on his schedule. Like, oh, I have to go meet that person at this particular time. Psalm 75:2, at the proper time, the Lord will rise up and he will do what he's going to do. And all of this heavenly stuff is just like, whoa. Even last night, I woke up with this heavenly kind of encounter, really. And it was like unlike anything I had experienced, I think, ever. And I'm like, wow, Lord, you really are preparing us for like all 4 levels of the things you promised us. And it's like, wow. Okay, well, man, this is really awesome, you know.
Yeah.
So I think that's it. I think that's it. We'll start sharing more stuff because you know we could.
Yes. So do you want to do the patent and closing?
I don't have a patent on that closing. You're the one that does the patent.
You did do the beginning, so you should do the end.
Well, guys, now you do it.
Okay.
You do it.
So yeah, that's really what we have for you guys.
Yeah, see, there you go. That's what you do.
Yeah. So that's all we have for you guys today, and we do pray that you guys were blessed by what the Lord had to share, and so we are looking forward to seeing this, what God's going to continue to do as we move into just this.
We're going forward.
Yes, we're going
forward.
Don't
let anything draw you backwards. There was a couple of things that happened, even just yesterday, that just made me go, Lord, maybe? Well, you know what? God, let me come to you. Lord, is there anything to this? And the Lord was like, no. No. All that's trying to do is pull you backwards. And God's like, no.
We're going forward.
That's where we're going. We're going forward, you know? And it's like, look what was prophesied over you before. Did you go backwards? Nope. Did I send you forward? Yep. It's like, that's all that's happening. And I'm like, wow. Okay, because I don't want to be walking in presumption or anything. You know, you don't want to, and you don't want to assume that you're just doing everything right and great. So that's why you just it's gotta be about relationship. It has to be about relationship. It can't be about doing for the Lord. The Lord don't need you to do anything for him. I mean, come on. He wants you to work alongside of him and cooperate with him. And from that relationship of intimacy, from one desire meeting another desire, comes this cooperative, intimate relationship. And out of that being comes doings. But a lot of times with the religious system, they want to have you come in and just do. And it ends up being doo-doo. You know what I'm saying? So you got a doo-doo ministry. And it's like, God's not trying to... And then he ends up having to clean up all the doo-doo, you know, that you done doo-dooed all over people, telling them it's the Lord. And it's like, no. God's like, no, I'm not about that. You know, if you know me, like with me and Michelle, out of our relationship literally comes this. You know what I mean? And it's like, just so much stuff comes out of just our relationship together. We're not coming to each other going, okay, what do you want to do? What should we be doing together? No, it doesn't happen like that. And it's the same thing with the Lord. It's the same thing with a lot of intimate relationships. You know, when you get a vision, sure, you start to plan, and so what should we do? How should we do that? But even that planning comes out of relational interaction. It doesn't come out of this paradigm of, I'm launching myself from this place of ministry and doing for the Lord. No, God's like, I'm tearing that down. You know, and that's what a lot of these divine encounters are going to do. It's going to tear some stuff down that doesn't need to be, that should have never been built up in you. But it's going to set you free to encounter God for who he really is. See, that right there is why you don't want me doing a close, okay? Because even if you do the close, I'm going to take it anyway, and so, you know, shepherd staff. So on that note. So that's official. This will be the official goodbye, right?
Yes. So
the official sayonara.
Until next time, guys, we will see you later.
Who told you to get out of bed?
He could do the goodbye.
We love you guys. We think you're awesome. Thank you for everything.
And we will see you guys again soon.
Next video.
All right.